You ready to go? All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to today's meeting. Now we'd like to begin with a call of order. Can we get a roll call, please, Douglas?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Director Snowden. Present. Thank you. Director Odell. Here. Thank you. Director Stone. Not present for roll call. Thank you. And Chairman, just for Director Stone, she is traveling out of town and she was expecting to be able to join us later, possibly virtual. Director Lockett. Not present for roll call. Director Adams.
Present.
Thank you. Director Robinson. Present. Thank you. Director Leggett. Not present for roll call. Director Taylor.
Present.
Thank you. And Chairman Cody.
Present.
Chairman, you have a quorum for today's meeting.
Thank you. Next, we'd like to get adoption for a regular board meetings agenda. We have a motion and.
I second it. Okay.
Well,
Yes, sir. And Mr. Chairman, just for record, just for housekeeping, we have one item under consent that will be moved to individual item 4.3. I'm sorry, did I get it wrong, Dr. Rob? 4.2. 4.2, yes. 4.2. Okay. And then under individual items, 5.1 and 5.2 will be removed.
And is 5.6 a part of IT?
Well, I was looking at, yeah, she told me I thought it was the third one.
5.6 is the text alert.
Is that a part of IT?
No, it's not.
It's not? Okay. So 5.1 and 5.2, I'd like to take off. Text alert is part of paratransit.
No, that's a part of communications. But let me ask you,
5.1, 5.2.
yeah, but in 5.6, my concern is when we say renewal, that means this is coming for us before. But I don't remember 5, I don't remember.
It's a, you're speaking of the alert media?
Yes,
Number
that's-
6?
Yes, and then it says
Okay, we
renewal.
currently have a contractual agreement with them. It expires at the end of the month. And that's for the text alerts that goes out to the public and to the executive management team.
Was that a 5-year contract?
No. What was it, Ariel? 1 year. 1 year.
So we saw it last year?
Well, I guess my concern is when we say renewal, does that mean we went back to the procurement process with
Well,
that competitors?
okay, what happened was that,
Are we out of order? Are we out of order? We out of order.
We saw it.
Yeah, we out of order.
We'll get back to
We'll
that.
get back to that, yeah.
sure.
Oh, y'all been in now?
Thank you for being so mindful. I appreciate it. We have a motion made by Director Adams and seconded by Director Snowden to approve today's agenda with the amendments as discussed. And I'll do a roll call vote. Director Snowden?
Yes.
Okay. Director Odell?
Yes.
Director Stone? Not present for the vote. Director Lockett? Not present for the vote. Director Adams?
Yes.
Director Robinson?
Yes.
Director Leggett? Not present for the vote. Director Taylor?
Yes.
And Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman, motion passed to approve today's agenda.
Thanks. First, we have a presentation for ATU Local 1324 Leadership Update by Ms. The President, Diane Slint.
Good afternoon to everyone, board of directors, chairman, staff, and public at large. I did not make a presentation today. The union is just wanting to know how did we get here. I wanna really give a great appreciation to our board because without you all, we can't move forward. I think sometimes y'all get a lot of bad publicity and people say bad things, not understanding how hard it is for y'all to be able to help management and us stay on one accord. So the union greatly does appreciate that. The union does have a lot of violations, that is against the CBA right now. Some too, Dr. Manning has rectified, that did not get to Ms. Cutter because it was handled in first step grievance. We do still have, the microtransit out because it was violated, it was a contract, and it was not respected. And I know that there's been a lot of different reasons that people think the union is not going forward with microtransit contract. It's not that. It's that we had an amendment in place and we're trying to figure out how to work out the amendment. I do want CAT to respect the fact that we have a contract. Sometimes it's respected other places, but not respected when it's through the union. We represent the labor. This is my job. This is what I have to do. I have to represent labor employees. And it grieves my spirit when we and management cannot come to a common ground on certain issues. So the microtransit is on hold right now. We will get with management to try to work out the issues on microtransit. And that's all the world has right now.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next, on our consent items, do we have a motion? Do we have anybody want to pull anything off?
Well, I asked for 2 be pulled, and I'd like for 8 to be pulled.
2 and 8?
Yes, please.
2
And
and
yeah, some of these I'm just seeing for the first time.
under,
Consent,
consent.
yeah.
And 4.
Or
Cause I don't even know what that was. Yeah.
What is the retower and finished board? That's a board?
I'm going to have procurement come down to address it.
But can I make a comment, because if we're not getting these things in sufficient amount of time, I don't think you should put them on consent agenda. I think anything that doesn't come through, if it's important,
yes.
and you haven't had a chance to look at it, either to be tabled or should not be on the consent agenda, because that's not fair to us.
And Beverly, can we mark these so I can make sure that which item it is? Can we mark it on the packet? Yeah. Yes, please.
And I really don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but I would love to see change.
Well, perfect.
And that's fine. I had a conversation with the board administrator just this morning. Because the packets, didn't get to me in time for review. And And that may mean at board meetings, your agenda will be very short. I have said this will not happen again. It will not move forward without my review and or approval for it to go forward. So I understand because I feel the same way. A lot of things I did not have time to catch because of the late submittals, and we just can't function on. So that's been addressed.
And Ms. Cutter, what's going on with the printer?
Which,
We, for the last couple of months,
yeah.
the print is, well, not only small, but it's got these lines working through it. What's happening? Why?
Do we own it? Or the lease?
It's probably loose.
Then why don't we switch it out? Aren't they supposed to be switched out?
Well, take care.
Yes, ma'am, thank you, sorry.
Thank you.
I'm out of order.
All of them.
Sorry. Sorry.
So I make a motion,
Wait a minute, I think somebody was coming forward to explain something.
oh, on the consent agenda.
Which we were talking about the last three refinishing. And I do apologize because these action items, some of them came in as late as when Ms. Stillman's.
As late as Friday, Sunday,
Yeah.
and even Monday. We didn't add
And
Monday.
here again, we had a discussion. The chiefs and staff are here. And this is just it. And if I have to come before the board in the future, if things move forward, board will be given emergency items and emergency items only. You know, it has to stop at some point, and this is it for me. I understand because I have to read it. I have to approve it. I have to make sure all the relevant data is there. And if I don't have time to do that, it shouldn't come before me.
Well, it's got a piece of it, we'll have it again, we'll accept that. Might have to-
And so, Chairman, I'm sorry, and please excuse me, I stepped out of the room. We're on agenda item number 4, consent item. Okay, and Dr. Robinson, the 2 items was 4.2 and 4.8.
It's 4.2, 4.4, and 4.8.
Okay, moving to individual.
Yeah.
Okay,
And Director Dell asked for 4.4.
okay. So Chairman,
What we have on
if,
individual? I have 1, 2, and 6.
so with the motion for agenda item number 4, we'll accept a motion omitting number 2, 4, and 8 in that motion.
Let me ask one more question. On 6, are we using the same policy we did last year?
Yes.
Okay,
For the scrap.
for the disposal of the drugs, yeah.
And the only question I have with that one, did we get any money? And who we send it to?
If we receive anything over 5,000, it has to go back to the FTA. They allow us to keep anything under 5,000.
So when we scrap, we are getting some money from the
Yes,
scrap.
yes.
So do we have one specific vendor or several?
Typically, like, it has to follow the procurement process. And whatever vendor is out, we have to get the 3 quotes. And whichever is more beneficial. And of course, in accordance with our procurement policy, we select the best vendor. Typically, in a case like this, the one that pays the most per annum.
But then the money will show up in the 2025 budget in operation, the money will go into operation.
as other revenue,
As other revenue.
yes,
But it's a pass through, right? It goes back to a TM.
over $5,000. Anything over $5,000, we have to return to them.
We keep 5 and 10,
Yes.
everything else.
Yes. And that's per vehicle.
Okay,
That's good.
so we remember this one.
Are you okay with that one remaining to on consent, Director Odell?
Yes,
Okay. Chairman, that motion will be to, approve consent item, agenda item number 4, omitting 4.2, 4.4, and 4.8. We just need a motion.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay,
Roll call, please.
yeah. Thank you. Director Snowden?
Yeah.
Thank you. Director Odell?
yes,
Director Stone? Not present for the vote. Director Lockett?
Yes.
Thank you. Director Adams?
Yes.
Director Robinson?
Yes.
Director Leggett? Not present for the vote. Director Taylor?
Yes.
And Chairman Cody?
Yes.
Chairman motion passed to approve, consent items today.
Move to individual action item. Have any questions about our action items of the day?
we removed 1 and 2.
What about 6? I have 6.
6 is not a part of IT, it's a part of the communication plan. So we were gonna wait to find out about the renewal of the agreement, because we don't remember it. I thought maybe it was a 5-year, but she said it was a
When,
1.
when we get to that, we'll walk through actually what the occurrence was.
Okay.
It's really not a renewal. So we'll get to that.
So we're on 3 now,
Yes, ma'am.
the service change.
Yes, ma'am.
Request for approval of the following service changes for the November 2024 service change, minor schedule changes related to optimizing service hours, improved service reliability by modifying the pattern on Route 11 and service on Route 25.
I make a motion to approve individual action item 5.3.
Well,
What?
did you have a discussion on that one?
After the second, after the second.
Oh.
I second.
Thank you. Discussion, yes, sir. The floor is open for discussion.
I didn't make the motion. You said it. And so discussion is open. While the discussion is open, Beverly, would you please give me a copy of the fee policy for our current fee policy
For, media, fair media,
for ridership?
yes. Yes, on the fair boss.
Yes.
Okay, I know exactly what you're.
That the policy that relates to the passes.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess the question I have for that one, we say minor schedule changes. So are we trying to get to, well, if these routes are running within 2 hours or less than 2 hours, or what does that mean?
So, if you may, yes, so what that means is that, yes, so we have, each route has a certain amount of time that they can run in. And so sometimes we say that it takes, 15 minutes to get from the, intermodal station to, downtown. I'm just making hypotheticals now. And running how that route actually runs, it doesn't quite make it in 15 minutes. It may need 20 minutes to get there. So the time point, so when a rider is riding that, instead of it saying that the bus is gonna get there at 8:20, now we're gonna say the bus is gonna get there at 8:25. So it's the same route, but it's just some minor tweaks to the schedule to help improve on-time performance.
So, and my question always gonna be about how do we inform the riders? You know, we approve these changes, but then I get thinking, well, we know, but how do they know?
So we have a plan, so on October 6th, I believe, yes, I'm looking at Ariel. We will be going to the community meeting for Liberty City because those are the most impacts. It's Route 25 that has the most impact. And then we will also do outreach at the ITC itself. But we wanted to wait until the board approved that before we made the public outreach about the changes.
And this will not happen until November.
November
2024.
18th is when the changes will occur.
So when you do these community meetings, does it make a difference?
Does it make a difference?
Right, what if the change is not what they want?
So we can, that's why we do the changes every 3 times a year. So sometimes, yes, we are unable to make a change at the most immediate change, but then we can take that information and maybe the change won't happen in November, but it can happen in March, which will be our next scheduled change.
So the October meeting is to hear from the citizens, is that correct?
That is one option. So we can hear from the citizens and also to inform the citizens about the upcoming changes. So we get it's a 2 for 1. So we get to hear their concerns and then inform them about the upcoming changes.
Okay, but informing them and listening to them is 2 different things.
Dr. Robinson, may I interject? You are our employees, want to say that one of the performance measures for the staff is that we do a better job with community outreach. Some community meetings I will be in attendance, and a performance measure as outlined within the budget document is that the service quality and customer care team attend at least one community meeting a month. Anytime there's any change, the planning staff, along with myself, will be making presentations at community meetings. I agree. And that's one thing that I have a problem with, not only even when I was with the city. It's not for us to tell the residents what they need. It's up to them to tell us, and then we make arrangements to make it happen. So that is the approach that CAT will be following. We will not be telling the community. We will be, first of all, listening to what their concerns are and bringing it back, not to say that we will be able to do everything, but we will definitely work towards doing what we can.
And I think that anything that staff works on and they think is worthwhile, I think it's all in the presentation. Absolutely. You know, you gotta inform people, you know, some folks saying, well, this is what we're gonna do, you know. And that's pretty much what I've been hearing, even when we had our consultants, you know, they go out, they say they go out, then they're gonna tell us. But I don't ever hear what the customers have said, so
And
I appreciate that.
in the updates that I'll be sending to the board, it will have all of those outreach efforts. We participate in.
And Ms. Cutter, on that note, I do want to say that your weekly updates have been awesome. They are well written, well organized, grammatically, they are correct, and it is much easier to read. So they were, and this week's was really good.
On the minor adjustments, we're saying that, we still have to meet with those people like in, on Route 3B, Route 5, Route 6, etc.
We will get in front of that, and staff will be doing that outreach, and also our PIO officer is a part of that. Will also help us with getting the message out and soliciting feedback prior to anything being implemented.
Now, they were supposed to let us know, because we questioned whether Route 5 needed to go back to the original plan, which was 3B. And they were supposed to be monitoring or getting us some information, letting us know how well this Route 5 was working out for us. Is that, are we still doing that?
Mary,
So, yeah, so we have the ridership data on that, and it's included in the ridership report. And so the changes here are related to, again, the schedule adjustments and helping the route of, on-time performance.
Now,
now because this, remember this, the Port Wentworth, that is a contractual agreement.
Right,
And
initially it was supposed to be 3B extension.
you're absolutely right. What I was gonna say, all of the concerns and issues that will impact Fort Wentworth in our contractual agreement with them. And any changes to that, of course, we would have to communicate, that with them. I remember, prior to this seat, there were always concerns about the routing and all of that associated with serving, Port Wentworth. I'll get with the chief planning officer and with the consultant who worked with this, to make sure that the board's concerned when we come back with an update, all of that's answered. In
That's-
terms of
that's-
the
that's what I'm
expectations.
talking about.
Okay,
Hey, let me ask a question. Now, when I look at this chart and I look at the action item, the, whatever those minor schedule adjustments are they included in the attachment? But we're saying words. It was- I don't know
And you all
if
are gonna have to excuse me. As I said, when I opened,
Yeah,
I have not thoroughly reviewed this. I would like the opportunity, Ms. Dumas is taking the minutes to jot down all of your questions. Give me, a turnaround time to answer all of your questions. I would have had time to review the details of the action item because I don't want to say anything that's incorrect.
Yes, ma'am.
So just give us time. I want you to state your questions so that we have time to, I'll have time to read it, approve it, and get the responses back to you.
Of course. Have y'all thought in terms of, maybe using the local papers to get this information out, particularly, and the Savannah Morning?
That, of course, that's an option for getting the message out, yes.
And also, maybe for clarification purposes, when they just write minor schedule adjustments, that's a very broad list of, yes,
That's my point.
it'd be great.
well, that's how I was asking whether they were attached, but I didn't see them attached.
My scanning, I didn't see it, and I would rather you all have all of that detail.
So are we gonna approve it as is and just wait for,
I think that we would have to,
we gonna table this or?
I would like
I
to,
If we table it,
Because
it won't go into effect in November.
We would really be pushing it because remember, we want to get
to the public.
to the public. And we need permission to begin to do that. Now with that, and I'm sure the revisions are minor and the board will be okay with it, but you need to know what they are. And I just ask that you allow us to proceed, so that we can begin the education process. And you know, the community may have some requests for us to consider. And if need be, we can do a special call meeting. Because if they have new components, we would have to do that anyway, so that we can stay on schedule for another.
Or cancel or not make a change. And then-
that's an option. We'll have to get with the union and of course, before we bring anything back. Absolutely, that's an option.
All right, so the motion to approve.
You want me to make the motion?
Oh, voting motion, sorry, yeah. Yeah, we accept, as Perry says, we give him grace. Yeah.
Director Bell,
Yes.
Director Scott, not present. Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
Yes.
Director Leggett. Not present for the vote, Director Taylor
Yeah.
and Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman, motion passed to approve agenda item 5.3.
We'll do it in the, action item 5.4. First, board approval of the following service changes for Cat Connect services to include addition of service to Steel Road Tower and to extend and rerouting of the drop-off location of Silver Pine Village residents.
Okay, I'm going to talk through this. Dr. Manny is not here today. He had knee injections and really can't move around right now. So, but Cat Connects, Stillwell Towers was not on the list of stops for service for that program. And they requested that they be added, so we're bringing that forward to add Stillwell Towers to the Cat Connect scheduled routing. And the Pooler Shuttle, which was on the Cat Connect schedule, they asked that their places of drop-off be changed to add Aldi's and Publix on Pooler Parkway. In listening to the needs of the ridership that we serve, we are bringing it forward for board approval to make these changes.
Are we currently, going to the Publix in all these on Abercrombie?
They were going to Walmart. They didn't want to go to
So
Walmart.
we taking out Walmart.
Yes.
That won't be a Walmart stop.
Right, for Pooler, that's correct. They prefer Aldi's and Kroger.
Right,
So
and
they're changing.
there's a Aldi on Abercrombie, and there's two Publix on Abercrombie.
Mhm,
I believe we go to the one at 12 Oaks.
mhm.
Do we go to the Aldi?
No, they go to the Walmart.
And I guess they could walk to Aldi, it's in the parking lot.
They go to the Walmart on Montgomery Crossroads.
I'm gonna Crossroads.
Yes,
So we don't address the Walmart and Aldi that's across from Savannah Mall.
well, when Cat Connects was started, a very good outreach program was implemented. They told us where they wanted to go.
Okay,
And each location where they designated where they wanted to go, that's how we made the schedule. Now, Pooler has had an opportunity to fill the program. And their ridership on Cat Connect was low. Because their initial request, they decided, no, we'd rather not. And they came up with this request. So, Cat Connect is a pilot.
Mhm.
And we are really trying to accommodate the needs of the ridership. So that's basically why we're here with this request.
the only reason I ask is because Aldi has a program for seniors
Mhm,
for their fresh fruit and vegetables.
yes. And this, all these they're speaking of is new.
It's brand new.
Yeah, I believe.
It's
So
nice.
it's more convenient to them.
Mhm.
And that's their preference. So,
Okay.
But now with this pilot program, it's gonna end.
yes, ma'am.
So, and I think the citizens need to be aware.
Oh,
I think part of this should say to them that what we're agreeing to will only last until December.
Okay, now we are working on a request that will go to the city. The city's request will go before Chatham County because the city is on a calendar year cycle. And the county is on a fiscal year cycle, same as us. We will ask the city to pick up all of the stops of Cat Connects, and we will ask the county to pick up those stops within the county. Now, if we get microtransit, that's going to help us to serve in the interim, because we could allocate those resources to cover the county from January through July, when their budget cycle begins. The goal is to not delay any service, to keep it going, whether we do it with through the city's appropriation in bringing back senior circular, or whether we do it by getting additional grant funding, mainly the 5310 that supports seniors and disabled citizens, $200,000 to reallocate it to do that. We're gonna make it work, so we will not disrupt service for them.
So your confidence is in the fact that come December, when the money runs out, we will have replacement money for that. How soon we know?
Now, I can't say if the city is gonna say yes, that's why we were asking our director,
Maybe.
Leggett, to advocate when it comes before the city as a part of their budget process.
So how soon will that happen?
Their budget process is underway now.
Mhm.
How far are we near with our request?
So.
What is our deadline for submittal?
So, yeah, so we are working with the city, on that, and I apologize, I don't have the exact deadline,
Okay.
with me, but they are in their budget cycle.
Yes.
That's all well and good, but that's not my question is that this pilot program ends in December.
Remember, we have 5310 money that's allocated to serve seniors and disabled population. That's $200,000, and that is in progress.
That application.
Yes, that's what we'll use. The other option is if, and I'm pretty sure that comes through, it goes through Department of Human Services. We just have to submit. It goes through the process, we draw it. It should be in place by the end of the year. The third option is the county board members of Chatham Area Transit Authority funding to fill in the gap as need be, but I do not want to take that away from our seniors.
Right.
I just don't want to do that. And if you all remember, we have about almost $1.6 million in contingency. And that is there to fill voids when we need voids filled. But we are working on grant money, we are working on requests to the city, requests to the county, and 5310 money that we did not take advantage of last year. We're taking advantage of every opportunity.
So what I think I'm hearing is the pilot program come December will no longer be a pilot program. It'll be a part of what we do.
Well, until we get concrete funding, it's not guaranteed. Now, the city, pre-COVID, the city funded the senior circular and did for many years.
Right.
I really doubt if they would take that away from our seniors. I doubt that. They are pro senior. So,
But we do have a backup plan.
Yes, sir. yes, sir.
That's good.
You know, there's grant money for, the senior and disabled population. There's monies out there, and you all know, well, county commissioner, how the county feels about, disabled citizens. They're supportive. I really don't think it's going to be a problem.
Right, but my question is more about the fact that this was a pilot program.
It was.
So after that, we can no longer call it that because that's not how we run it, can we?
It won't be a pilot.
Right, that's my question.
Because the pilot was funded by the GDOT Transit Trust Fund. That's over.
Right,
That will be over.
right,
An alternative source of revenue will be needed to carry it forward.
right, but that was my point, I
Yes.
wanted to be clear on
Mhm.
what we're voting
You're
on.
correct.
Because the funding for that is over.
You're correct.
Okay. So I have to, we need to know exactly what because this stuff can come back.
Sure.
Okay, we need a motion and a second. For item 5.4.
Need a motion in a second.
Seem like we all agree with sign. Make a motion on it.
All right,
Thank
we have a second. Second,
Thank you.
Evelyn.
All righty, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll do a roll call vote. Director Snowden,
Yes.
Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone, not present for the vote. Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
Yes,
Director Leggett, not present for the vote. Director Taylor,
Yes.
and Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman motion passed to approve item 5.4.
Moving to item 5.5. Request board approval to ratify task order number 4 through WRA for $116,216 to cover the additional expenses for the transit and ferry planning assistance.
What does that mean?
yeah. Yeah, I need, I asked.
Okay, of course, when the board appoints, in the interim role, you bump into things. And this was one that I bumped into and realized it had not come before the board. The task order was dated, I believe it was May 15th, and it was effective June 3rd. Because of the amount of money, that $116,000, of course, it needed to come before the board. What it is, the consultant WRA is working on a marine service transit development plan and also assisting, it's labeled transit planning assistant.
What is that?
The task order, yes, the task order is attached as was signed, outlining the scope of work for the task order with projected hours. And then, of course, the projected amount by line item, base services, mileage, travel, so on and so forth, with the project schedule as outlined in the attached. The effective date was June 3rd, 2024. Now, the reasoning is, I believe it was last fiscal year where the board approved, or it was either 23. The board approved a large sum of money for task orders over a 5-year period. 1.2 some odd million dollars.
But now.
Okay, go ahead. So that's where this is coming from. Since the board approved that maybe 2 years ago, I'm assuming that it was taken that this task order was okay. And that's why it didn't come back before the board. I realized that my limitations are $10,000. So I'm bringing it to the board for ratification. Another point is, this came prior to the planning division being fully staffed. And work was obviously needed. The former CEO was handling the planning and needed assistance.
But isn't this redundant?
I'm getting,
This is redundant.
now, I'm getting,
Yeah, because of that, I have. a question.
I'm getting,
Yeah,
now that the planning division is fully staffed, some of the scope of this work may not be needed because we now have project managers. We have a systems planning manager. We have staffing resources. Some of the work may be needed, but I don't think all of the work is needed. This was prior to the planning division being fully staffed. But the contract has been signed.
and the work. has
But what's the
been done.
termination clause?
He is in the process of completing the work. All of the work has not been done. The this is the task force. There is this is it,
But
a
didn't we,
task order.
but we did, or they did, we did a TDP and a master transit plan.
It did not. It was limited when it came to marine services.
So I guess, but my question, I don't want to break your trend, this is what my understanding is. As a board, we approved X amount of money, but we didn't say that you don't have to come back to us.
Well, that's,
Because your limits are your limits. So anybody take advantage of us approving money because they asked for it, that's a disservice to us
But it
as
was,
a board.
but it was my remembering that 1.2 million was approved, but that you were coming back to tell us when you were using it.
Exactly.
well, that's what, that's why we're here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why we're here. And I'm sure it was, you know, things moving so fast and oversight. But it's okay because it's here before you die.
but let me ask a question, how do we keep track with the time they're spending, what they're doing, do they sign in, what kind of contract?
We asked for that, remember?
Yeah, do they sign in,
And she
who
refused to
manages
give it to
them,
us.
who decides if what they're doing is adequate, what the request is? I mean, what's the monitoring
Well,
process?
this task order is being managed by the planning division. Ms. Mosovich, she's managing this task, but I'm involved. I sat in on the preliminary, on a meeting. And some redirection was made.
And so prior to this, there was no real monitoring going on.
No, that's not true.
I'm sure there was. I'm sure Mr. Massimo met with Mr. Ritchie and Ms. Mosovich as it related to this project. The meeting that I was in, I believe the Marine Services Director was there as well,
Right,
wasn't
yes.
he?
Mhm.
So we are monitoring, and I am involved meeting with the project team, guiding this process. There were some pieces that were missing from the preliminary report, and we talked through it, and the consultant is going back and gathering that data. I think it's going to be beneficial because it talks about and will be leading to a greater share of core fees that will come to CAP to help cover the cost of marine services.
That's the way it's done.
Yeah, break down on
It's just the way it's
our.
done.
For a chart of, didn't we ask for a chart of the consultants with what their initial contract amount was, what they had been paid to date, and where we were in the process of them completing their contract? We asked for that.
Director Della, this is fairly new. This was effective June 3rd of this year. You asked for that a while back.
Right, and we asked her to do it before she left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yes,
but now,
I'd like to see that breakdown.
Beverly, could you pull it up and give it to Ms. Cutter so she can give it the span?
because in May 15th, what transpired on May 15th?
She signed.
This one is
No,
effective.
it was signed, was it signed?
June 3rd, it was signed.
Yeah, it was effective June 3rd.
Right, but something happened in May.
That was when it was submitted to us.
Communications and I guess defining scope. And, sharing for review with the potential vendor.
So.
Do we have a deadline on this?
Well, this reads to cover the additional expenses. So what was the, if we're paying 116,000 now,
In addition,
what did we pay before? This is to cover the additional expenses.
Well, CAT had a contractual, a task order agreement with WRA.
For one,
That was grant funded to do the COA TDP. That portion didn't really get into marine services. So this is an additional amount. That part was grant funded.
And that was how, you remember how much?
I don't remember what the grant amount was for that, but I can get that information back to you. And it may be a little money left on that grant contract that we can utilize to offset this cost. If not, it comes out of contingency.
can you evaluate this scope of work and determine the redundancy and pull out what we don't need and rework the scope and distribute the funding request?
Yes, and some of the work can be reallocated to staff because we have a planning staff now. And Ms. Mosevich and I will sit down and go through this and identify those pieces. The chairman was asking about the end date. The end date, according to the task order, is December 31st, 2024.
Well, it's my understanding that these task orders were for an as-needed on-call basis. So after you're able to reevaluate the scope, they don't have to be on duty until December 31st. They're just on call.
The task order ends December 31st.
Right, but once you reevaluate and take
Right, some of the
responsibility away, then as long as they're on call, then we are in compliance with the agreement.
So should this
So-
be, so we should not pay no more than 116,000? So you could be paying less?
I think we will be paying less because we have staff now.
Right, so
I think we let Ms. Cutter rework the scope.
I'm thinking,
Sooner the better.
okay, if we're gonna approve this, we're saying we're gonna pay them 116,000.
Well, my question is, that $41,834, the grant money, Is that a part of the 116 or
Of that one.
additional to, addition to?
This is WIA on the screen. Oh, yeah, can you make it a little?
Why don't we just put this off till next month?
Let me say
Give us
this,
cut of time.
let me say this. This task order has already been issued,
Yes,
signed by both.
yes,
Now, we can manage the amount
right.
of the contract by removing some of the work that we can do. Remember, this was pre-planning staffing coming to CAP. And we worked with WRA for a while. And they understand, matter of fact, the project manager was in the meeting that I sat in on with the consultant. So they understand that CAT was short-staffed and all of that. So,
But we don't need to approve the 116 today.
well, this is really a cost estimate. If you look at that is a cost estimate. So their hours are only billed upon the amount of usage. If they don't do all of this, then it's not gonna be 160. This is just a cost estimate.
So this is the maximum that we can
Yes.
expect to pay out.
This is the maximum for this task order if we ask them to do everything that's outlined within this task order.
So we have to approve this because she already signed it. And it's been executed and it's in progress.
Yeah, yes, it is.
So,
And-
but
and
that
the-
doesn't prevent you from reallocating the
Well-
scope of work.
Right, because the signed task order, it has an estimate of hours by activity. And managing the amount of hours drives the cost that we will owe WRA. If we don't need, the amount of hours as outlined under hours estimated by activity, and that's key, it's an estimate.
Okay.
But see, that's why I was asking earlier about who tracks the hours.
Oh, they invoice us
Mhm.
and they have to document the work and the time that they put in. They actually submit an invoice for X number of hours for 4.1 or whatever the scope is.
So we can.
And
agree to
Mary
distribute
as-
the hours.
And Ms. Mosevich, as the chief planning officer, she has to verify that and sign off and say, yes, they did this, and this,
Okay.
or else finance will not pay.
Okay.
All right, so somebody.
Did I leave out anything, staff?
No, and yeah, it's exactly what happened. They send us an invoice and we review that, and they put in how many hours and who did what.
Okay, well, we would like Beverly to give that chart and bring it back so that we can look at all the different consultants that were brought in during that time and what they were brought in to do, what's left for them to do, what we paid them to date, and what's left to pay.
And you know,
Director, can I
Yes,
get
ma'am.
clarity, please? So are you saying there's already a report
There's
that Ms. Dumas, that was turned in and shared with the board that
I
you're
don't think we
referring
can-
to?
I don't think we got
Helen Dunn
the report.
joined the meeting.
We made the request.
Okay.
And she made the request
I got it.
and we asked for specifically this type of consultant. Not all the vendors, but these particular consultants that were brought in to do work that we didn't have staff to complete.
And she will be pulling the request from the
She will
report.
pull the-
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm clear. Thank you.
So I can pull what has already been submitted to the board that was received by staff when that question came up. Now, I'm not sure.
We got a vendor report. We didn't get these individual consultants. And we didn't get the original contract date, the original contract amount. And, yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
It's not just for this particular item, action item, but I know there's a lot of information, attachments and all this stuff being sent to us, but is there any way to have it so concise, when you have, like you have ratified, have the opportunity to, within the action item request, to kind of explain what that is, what we.
Like an executive summary.
Yeah, something, because I mean, you can give me a whole bunch, which I read them all, but. You really think about it.
Timing is, I have to have time for review.
Yeah,
So y'all may not be seeing as much coming before you because I am going to review. I'm hearing what you're saying, and it's my job to make sure it comes to you as you ask. So I'm taking on that responsibility to make sure what comes before you is in the order that you asked.
That's good.
So we are at the point where somebody needs to make a motion.
so that's action item 455.
Yes, ma'am, 5.5.
I'll move.
I'll second.
You should state what the motion is. I know, I'm sorry.
So should I read what's, okay,
Well, it's whatever you want it to be, but
Yeah.
it should have some detail.
okay, I move that the request for board approval to ratify task order number 4, the WRA for an estimated cost of $116,216 to cover the additional expenses for the transit and ferry planning assistance.
That's 6.
Be approved, and because I purposely said estimated cost.
Yep.
Of $116,000, that was intentional.
And then I second your motion.
May I ask that the motion include Marine Services, COA, TDP support as well?
But that went on this thing. Hold on.
It's on the action.
It's on the board action.
Can you pull back up the action item?
Well, here it is, Gertrude, this one.
I moved it up to the top.
This one. No, you gotta pick up this one. She wants you to read this one. The WRA Ferry COA TDP on continuation service, the task order number 4. You're on the
So
wrong page.
what's on the agenda?
It's a part
That's
of,
read off by Director Robinson, what's on
It is.
It's the same language.
and it's
But-
also on the scope under 4.2 and 4.5, 4.2 and 4.5. I just wanted to make sure it's clear for the minutes as to what the board is approving in accordance with the password.
And I have the other directive that was given to pull to evaluate the scope and pull out the redundancy and bring that evaluation back to the board.
So does Gertrude have to amend hers to include the COA TDP?
Well, that's a part of the scope.
You gotta amend your motion.
Well, if you're putting it the same way as Reagan. Or if you scroll down to the proposed motion at the bottom of the page, which includes the report itself. Well,
But it doesn't, Ms. Cutter wants to add, go back COA TDP.
it would be the report itself. So as noted here, Unless the board directs otherwise, adoption of an action item will mean approval of the agenda description and the respective staff report and its recommended action. So everything that's in the staff report is what you'll be approving. Unless there's a specific motion outside of the report.
So would that satisfy?
Mhm.
Okay.
I want to make sure the minutes reflect clearly what the board is approving. If that language is not there, then that's not authorization for me to carry out that particular function.
Somehow in which to believe the reason. So we're still looking at,
Fine.
5-5. And I motion for the approval of the request to ratify task order number 4 to WRA for an estimated amount of $115,216 to, which encompass a comprehensive operational analysis and transit development plan, COA/TDP.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I second that motion. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, we have a motion and a second, and Director Snowden.
Yes.
Okay, Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone. Director Stone has joined us. Director Stone,
Was you there?
we may have missed it. Okay, not present for the vote. Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
Yeah.
Director Leggett, not present for the vote. Director Taylor
Yes.
and Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman motion passed to approve item 5.5.
Next, we have item 5.6. Request board approval for the interim executive director, CEO, to renew past tax alert system contract.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I thought we didn't pull that.
We know Ms. Cutter says she's gonna explain it.
There were some questions regarding that. Expires the end of this month. Ms. Johnson, it expires the end of this month. And, Ms. Johnson reached out to see if they would provide us with a 6 months extension to allow us to solicit proposals for the service. They do not do 6 months contractual agreements, and they would not extend for 6 months. Without a new agreement with them, then we would not have text alert services, and that is something that the agency needs. So we are forced pretty much to bring this forward. The original agreement is not a renewal. It is a new 1-year contract.
Okay,
Is what it
so,
is.
So the price is staying, are they going up? And at what point should we have, what point should we be?
Well, we should have started the procurement process. At least 2 months earlier. So we would have known what but we did not. But we did reach out to them to ask for a 6-month extension, and they denied that request.
what is their termination clause? If you terminate early, what's the penalty?
Well, we're almost at the end of September.
I know, but if we, my question is, can you go ahead and renew this, start the procurement process, go through and find who you really want to work with? And that gives you
That's what we,
6
yes,
months
yes, ma'am.
to do
That's,
that.
you're right on point. This gives us an opportunity
Yeah,
to search the market, to see what's out there
right.
in preparation for award, October 1 of 25.
Yeah, and there should be some termination clause, which
That's all.
give them 60, 90, 180 days, and
But that exists in the existing contract.
if contract got termination.
Well, this,
Might not be good.
this was quoted, wasn't it, Ms. Johnson? Last year. I'm not sure what those terms were. We're at the end, but this time, if the board approves us entering to an agreement, we will have legal to review it to make sure there is such a clause prior to us moving forward.
So
And
we
you
don't have,
also begin the procurement process for their replacement.
so we don't have an existing contract.
Until the end of this
Until
month.
that's-
we do.
That's what I'm saying, so that particular one, I'm asking, is there a termination clause in that contract?
I had not reviewed it. That was done
But it terminates
last
at the end of the
year,
month.
and it terminates the end of the month.
So we gotta do a new one for October 1.
I got that, yeah. That's that one. So I'm seeing.
That works.
What you say, Madam?
So we need a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to approve the interim executive director to enter into a 1-year agreement with Alert Media for the text messaging service. And we also approve the beginning of the procurement process to find a replacement for Alert Media.
I'll second that motion. Second that motion.
Thank you.
Emotion.
Thank you. Chairman, I'll do a roll call vote. Okay, for item 5.3, Director Snowden,
Yes.
Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone. Director Stone is present, but I believe she's without audio. I'm muted. Director Stone not present for the votes. Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robertson,
Yes.
Director Leggett. Not present for the vote. Director Taylor
Yes.
and Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman motion passed for agenda item 5.6 and to, in addition to have staff start the procurement process.
Next, we have 5.7. Request board approval of the change of number 1 to ACOM for $34,550 to cover the additional expenses for the completion of the traffic study analysis required as part of the paratransit maintenance and mobility center study.
Chairman Cody, I apologize, but this item is contingent upon the approval of item 4.8. So you would need to hear that one first.
Oh, well, then we need to do that one next time. But then we pull that off.
You pull that off the consent, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case,
Revisit that.
Mr. Chairman, if you like, we can go ahead and entertain the 3 items individually that would pull from consent, starting with item 4.2. And can I
Oh,
say?
you gonna do this next month?
2.
Well, the reason why I asked to pull 4.2 was because there was some discrepancy in the information that was in the packet. Because there's an attachment that says 500 and some thousand, but this says 400 some thousand, the math is off. So I was concerned about approving something that didn't seem to be accurate.
So we not pulling this till next month? Are we gonna go through it today?
Whatever the wish of the board is.
These things we pulled them off to go through under individual action or to do on next month?
To discuss under individual action. This, yes, but this
Yeah.
one is the grant application.
So, if you look at the, what is this thing? Whatever this is, the FY 25 charging, it says September the 11th with the cover, because the pages are not numbered.
Yeah,
And if you go to the chart, and it says federal amount was 420, applicant 105, total 525,225. But if you look inside and you look at the math, but if you go to this one, it says the same thing, but it's $400 and something with a match of 88,000.
Thank you for that catch. Yes, so this was a draft, application, and I can get the complete application, but the request is for the 410,000, 440,000.
yeah, but we should approve
I
it
can
once
approve this.
it's
Okay,
completed.
this is a ratification. So I suggest that we pull this until next month. So that it can be updated appropriately.
And my question also is about the work. When you say units, you got 2 units for architecture, is that 2 individuals? And at 22,000? You say 2, that's at the back of the same document here. That I want clarity on. And also project inspection fees. It says 2 units. Is that individual or activity?
Activities for the 2 charging stations.
So you're gonna have 2 architect engineering, 2 different people doing it?
No, well, most likely it'd be 1 firm, but it would be 2 fees to do the site work. So for
So-
each one.
So when we get to this part, will we be putting this out as a bid for, because it's over $20,000. So will each one of these items have an RFP attached to it and it comes back to us?
So if we are awarded the grant, so this is just the application for the grant. And so it is put in the format that the grant application asks for to list out those individual activities. But when you see the RFP, it would probably be listed as one RFP for the work, scope of work.
And with the grant application, when they approve it, they approve line items. And the tasks have to fit within the approved grant line items for the type of work that comes with the project.
So the big is actually straightened out. Those numbers.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna pull those.
And every grant project has to be in line with federal, state, and local procurement policy. It has to follow it.
So this is being tabled.
Yes,
Got it. Good.
so then that takes us to 4.4,
Yeah,
which was this repower and refinish board.
that's what we need.
I don't know what that is.
So,
Yeah.
yes, so that is the official title for refurbishment. So that's the technical name for what you colloquially called refurbishment at the last meeting. So that's for the buses to be, fixed up and then brought back to extend their useful life.
And how many buses is it?
9 buses.
And this, and we're gonna do an RFP on this one too?
Yes, the RFP is attached.
RFP for- Okay, so we haven't vetted out yet.
No, if it is approved today, then we would release it.
So this money's already allocated on the.
It's a part of the 5-year capital. Yes,
That much.
it's a little more than that. We have in the FY 23, we allocated 2 million. And then in 2025, we allocated 1 million. So we have a total of 3 million.
And so that explains what this is, so we can make a motion for this. Right?
Yeah.
So I make a motion to approve the RFP for the bus repower and refinish services
That's
For a maximum.
for a maximum. Oh.
1.8.
one is,
Here's that. It says 900,
1,800,000.
1 million for a maximum 1,800,000.
I have your motion. Director Odell?
I'll second it.
Okay. And roll call. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Snowden,
Yes.
Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone. Director Stone, if you're on, your audio is muted, so I cannot hear you. So I will say not present for the vote. Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
Yes.
Director Leggett. Not present for the vote. Director Taylor
yeah,
and Chairman Codge.
yes,
Chairman, motion passed for item 4.4, discussed individually, and Chairman, if I may, for 4.2.
Yes.
Since it was discussed to table that item, speaking with Mr. Andrews.
Yes.
The motion will second and vote on that.
First time, so.
Thank you, Director Stone.
You take a motion.
Yeah, to table 4.2.
So I'll make a motion that we table action item 4, because, well, it's not an action item, 4.2.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank
I
you.
second. Director Taylor second.
Okay. Thank you, Director Taylor, and roll call vote, Director Snowden,
Yes.
Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone.
Yes.
Thank you, Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
Yes.
Director Leggett. Not present for the vote, Director Taylor
yes,
and Chairman Cole.
yes.
Chairman, motion passed to table item 4.2. Okay.
We're on 4.8
Yeah.
for discussion.
Now, is this similar to what happened with WRA? Okay, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, but it seems like it's 2 of them.
The second item is related to a specific change order. That change order has not come before the board. They have not done that work yet.
Then what's this task for?
The board has already approved the task order for AECom that was brought back before the board and approved. This is a requirement from the city of Savannah to do a traffic study as it relates to that preferred site. Remember, that site is owned by the city of Savannah. And before they deed it over to us, there are certain requirements that we must meet. And they require a traffic study to be done, and that was not a part of the approved scope for AECom. So this is a change order for that purpose, for them to conduct the traffic study.
Which site is it?
The paratransit,
I know, which of the 3?
interchange.
I'm sorry. Are we on?
And that area
8.
hasn't had
4.8
a
or 5?
study done by the city or the county?
That's not acceptable. They want, it's a special kind
They
of
want it
traffic-
manual
a
counts.
manual count traffic study, and they don't have that. They are
So you have to
requiring
put up a
that.
camera
They're,
to click.
they are
Each car.
required, yes.
So when we say ACOM, that, I guess my question is, when we do these, ratifications, do we do it at a no cost consideration? We just ratify and give it to ACON?
Well,
That's a lot of money.
they, have decided.
Stop for a second, we may have lost.
Thank you.
Premium, we lost premium. Is that Comcast?
We may as well get done.
Yeah, can we eat?
Wow.
You may as well take a bath and bring it.
Yeah, let's take it first.
Beverly, I need your badge.
Okay. I got one. You got it?
We're still streaming, FYI, we're still streaming, it's just that there's no,
Okay. Let's go back.
not everything is all.
Medicine, what does that mean? They can still hear it?
Yeah.
They can still hear us, they can still see the camera, everything else is still like that. Actually, you may want to ask the Director Stone, can you hear us? He's unmuted.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. We lost power, so we're trying to gain access back.
Well, I realize, y'all, I'm in between Yosemite and San Francisco, so bear with me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
It should be good if you
What should be
can
good?
pull back up in your screen, or
Okay.
was it up?
Okay, we're okay, we're on.
Yeah, I guess my question was about ratifying over $500,000 to a vendor that we don't have to put it back out again. So you said the contract already exists.
Well, AECOM is the consultant of record for the site suitability component of the paratransit maintenance facility. Once you have a consultant of record for such a site, it's not wise or feasible to go out and bring someone new in on the project. They have done an extensive amount of work on the site dealing with wetlands, compliance and all of that. So bringing someone in new to the site, they would have to either redo the work or work out some type of agreement with AECOM in order to move. It's just not cost effective
Okay,
to bring in someone new.
and I think it's expectations like that should be documented somewhere, because, just from an auditing standpoint, I would question that. So I accept your explanation, but I think it's something that should be in writing. Either part of this minutes or part of whatever we do to recognize why we did what we did. What happened.
Consultant of record, engineer of record.
Yes. I guess then, yes. Okay, well. Somebody need to make a motion to approve. So I move to approve the ratification of the AECOM task force for the transit maintenance facilities, finding management support in the amount of $574,000 or 100. I mean, this one of those time on task thing where we get paid by time or they're.
Yes, by time they have to submit an invoice. It's reviewed, for compliance with the work that they are actually invoicing for, and then it moves to payables for payment.
And this task order is separate from this change order number one?
Yes, it's a part of the same project, but the task order is not included in this ratification.
Okay.
Because she was, because we're talking about 5-7, right? 5-7 is a part
Yes.
of.
5-7. Yeah. And ACOM does traffic studies.
Yes,
They don't have to farm it out.
now,
The count is done by a sub consultant, but they will do the actual analysis.
yes,
So is that an extra fee?
That is where the
Sounds like-
304, yes, so
Yes.
that is where the additional fee comes from.
So just a fee.
The
plus
34 fines.
574.
The 3574 covers the person of, manual counts,
the entire process.
Whoa, wait, the 574
That's what.
doesn't cover the change order.
Correct.
That's my question.
So they're gonna hire a subcontractor. And that subcontractor is gonna get paid out of that 34 fine. And then they've got to do an analysis.
Whether they do it internally or whether they sub a portion of it out, the change order covers the cost of the traffic study.
The total
The
is
total,
34 fine.
yes,
Okay,
So it's not enough to exceed,
that's the cost that they have given to us to conduct the traffic study.
so how do we ensure that they don't come back and charge us more than 34? That always concerns me. But
Well, we only
If
approve
we
the
s-
34
if-
fine. If we sign a change order
Mhm.
for 34 for the traffic study, that's it, unless there's another change order.
They can't go no
Right.
higher.
They have to submit
can't
another
go,
change
but
order.
they would have to submit another change order.
What's that? Okay.
They may,
You see what you,
I do, and sometimes they run into unknown situations that causes additional work. That's what really supports a change order.
All right, before moving on to 5.7, we're still on 4.8. We have a motion by Director Robinson and a second. Second. Thank you. Chairman, if you do a roll call vote.
Yes.
Director Snowden,
yeah,
Director Odell,
yes,
Director Stone,
Yes,
thank you. Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
yes,
Director Leggett. Not present for the vote, Director Taylor
Yes.
and Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman motion passed to approve task order 4.8. Agenda item 4.8, I'm sorry.
so now we move back to agenda item 5.7. So I make a motion to approve the change order 1 to AECom for a maximum amount of $34,550 to cover the additional expenses for the completion of a traffic study analysis as required by the paratransit maintenance facility study.
Thank you. All right, and roll call vote, Director Snowden,
Yes.
Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone,
yes,
thank you, Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
yes.
Director Leggett,
yes,
thank you, Director Taylor,
Yes.
and Chairman Cody.
Yes,
Chairman motion passed to approve agenda item 5.7.
thank you. Next, we will be moving on to the executive director's report. Now, unit updates, and we will have of our CEO, Mr. Charlie.
Thank you, Chairman Cody. I had, two few updates for the board. In reference to microtransit, it is my understanding that all of the asks of the union has been agreed upon, and that language has been incorporated in an amended side agreement. Unless there were new requests that have come forward that I'm not aware of. Initially, when the pilot was suspended for non-compliance with the county's request, a side agreement had already been approved by the board. Upon returning to work, the pilot had to be suspended to give us time to work with the union for a side agreement amendment. The initial discussion with staff was that no employee was to be negatively impacted, that their seniority would be honored, and all of the asks of the union would be honored. To my knowledge, that has been done and has been put in writing and given to the union for review and notification of approval and or feedback on any other issues that were not considered. The other updates that I had, of course, CAP just received 2 new grant awards. One from House Bill 916, $500,000 and $691,000. This money will help us with the cost of electric bus infrastructure. We are moving forward with time and attendance. We are awaiting a list from the union to make sure that we've answered all concerns. It will then go to legal for review to determine if there are any legal concerns regarding the method of our time and attendance program. At this time, I would like to ask the board to take a look at your division reports. And we forego presentations today. Dr. Manning is not here. And if you have any questions regarding the division reports, to please submit them. And a response will be issued to you in writing. I realize that you all have not had ample time to go through the reports. And it's a lot of information, and it will significantly delay the meeting. We have a presidential candidate in town that may pose route detours. I have already received a call, and we need to be available to address any situation that comes up. And that's why I asked that you all review the division reports so that we are available to respond to any calls from whether it's SEMA or from the police department.
That's a really good idea.
I might have one question because I think it's time sensitive. And that's the HR for the CAO.
Yes.
That's.
I've asked if we could discuss that in exec session.
Okay.
Yeah, I responded to your email, Dr. Robinson, asking if the board would please allow me to update you in executive session as it relates to personnel.
I haven't had a chance to take a look at this division report, but I think this is my 3rd request, asking about that software that's gonna supposedly replace RouteMax.
We did,
It's been 3 months now, and
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I haven't gotten
Yes,
pretty
sir.
much any feedback.
Thank you for bringing that up. In my first update, I believe I addressed that by saying, Route Match did not provide that capability. And, I sat in on a demonstration. I believe, it was Ecoline, the first presentation I missed. But we are very close, to being able to procure the software in question that provides all of the documentation and capturing of data, easily generated reports, wherein the ridership will be notified immediately upon arrival at the home, all of that. In addition to that, we are looking at the time before in the process of the driver alerting the vendor. To me, 5 minutes is not enough. If you're dealing with a disabled person or an elderly person, they don't move that fast. So we are looking at that entire process, and the demo that I saw will incorporate all of that. So, but there was an update, Director Taylor, in the first update that I sent out. And I'll be, once we get into the procurement process, because it will have to go through the procurement process, I will alert the board as to when that occurs, but the demos have been held.
So what is the timeline on everything you were just talking?
It's urgent.
The reason why I asked is because I've only been asking for 90 days. This is the 90th day. This is the 30th day. And there's been no movement.
There has been movement, sir, and as I said, I gave an update in the first update sent to the board, and we have held the vendor presentation. The next step is the procurement process. Once everything, the specs, the scope, and all of that is outlined, you can't take one vendor's scope and specs and go with that. It doesn't work like that. We have to identify what we need so that it is a fair and equitable procurement process. We
So-
pretty much know what we want.
So by next meeting, what should we expect to hear
You should expect an update on the procurement process
on the procurement process?
with the scope that we are asking for to make sure it's all inclusive
Okay,
of what the board is expecting.
okay.
Mhm. Any other questions that I need to address?
Until next month.
That'll come to you as a part of my updating, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
Sounds good. Next, we'll be going to our contractual monthly update. Federal government affairs update, I don't believe we have party pet involved in today. But we do have our state and local governmental affairs, the back of front. You wanna comment on anything?
I think the report stands for itself. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them at this moment.
Do you have any questions for Beth? Thank you. It's been a great report.
As much as we can.
That's what I want to know.
Next, lastly, did we want to take a break, anything
Yes.
before we go into the executive session?
Let's get some sweet tea.
All right, let's take, 10 minutes.
Do you want to take a motion and second?
Yes, let's take a motion.
No, no, that's
Going
fine.
into executive session.
Let me,
I move that it's on to executive.
could I just make an announcement, regarding the agenda for the executive session? Just, for the record, I note that the agenda, for the executive session has a heading that says action proposed. And of course, we don't take action in executive session. That's prohibited by statute. Really, it's more accurate probably to say, discussion proposed. And reiterate that no action will be taken in executive session.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Andrew. And I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Not at all.
On that, the action is just a vote to enter.
I know.
And I want to acknowledge the fact that at the beginning of the executive session, it'll just be the board members present. We will call in and we'll have. After the fact.
We have a motion.
I make a motion to enter into executive session.
A second.
Okay, and Director Snowden,
Yeah.
Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone. Director Stone. She may be muted. Director Lockett.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Director Stone. Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
Yeah.
Director Leggett.
Yes.
Thank you, Director Taylor
Yes.
and Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman motion passed to enter into executive session.
Did we turn these mics off while,
We'll go to sleep.
No, I'm just saying, they're always on and on. Oh, I gotta get on.
And we're gonna reconvene in 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yes, ma'am.
Where the hot mic. I know, that's the first thing I learned in broadcasting. Remember, the microphone is always on, you know the microphone's off, the microphone is on.
We've seen that happen too much.
Oh, yes. I remember one time, it's Ike Warnock, Senator Warnock,
Helen,
Joined the meeting.
Helen.
Joined the meeting.
for kids. I know the cranberry, but I haven't tried when you mix it, there's a gas already.
Oh, God.
That's good pineapple juice. Pineapple
It's better.
I'm allergic to pineapple.
So is my daughter.
Okay, so it's a weird allergy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love pineapple.
juice. You finished it, Tim, I think I'm got so much. Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you.
We waiting on it.
Okay.
It's better. I'm allergic to pineapple.
So is my daughter.
We're lying.
All right. I welcome everyone back. We're back from executive session. I'd like to say that there were no votes or any actions taken. And if we don't have any questions or comments, I'd like to,
I like to make a motion. I second you.
so move. This time I'd like to adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
At 7:45.
You know, we ride home with them, we don't talk about, we got all the, what's this?
Let me get your crap.
Listen, for all of my college life, I did, so that's not a problem.
Now you're advanced.
I'm a ride.
Now you're-
Robinson.
Now you are, and advanced catch.
Yeah, I'm a ride with my friend Dr. Robinson. They call me, they call me. I'm in. Yes, ma'am. I have a ride. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Well, maybe another time.
Hey, definitely, I got children who are always trying to get my vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
You can come back.
Yeah. And,
I'm at the, I'm at.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll take you the right. Okay.
Where are you?
Dr. Ross, I'm gonna get that right now, because I know you got to go. The right, Snowden.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that was my cousin this time.
Uh-oh.
First was the daughter, this was the granddaughter. Cause I was talking to her when that said.
You got it. Yeah,